Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to autofill OTPs from SMS using the SMS Retreiver API in React Native's new architecture for Android. Now I have already made a video about using the user consent API, so if you haven't watched that video, do watch it. In what happens in user consent API is whenever a user receives a message, they will see this particular pop-up and they will have to click on the allow button. Now the advantage of this approach is you don't have to make any changes on the backend, but the user will have to again manually click on this allow button. But using the SMS Retreiver API, the user does not have to click on any modal or pop-up or allow anything like that. But the disadvantage is you will have to make changes on your backend side as well. Now I will show you everything. For backend I am using nodejs, and for sending and receiving SMS I am using Twilio. Twilio is the recommended one from this particular tutorial from the documentation. Now the advantage of Twilio is I can register it freely without using a debit card or a credit card, so I don't have to pay any money upfront or register any of my credit card. So that's the advantage. Again, this is not sponsored by Twilio. You can use any SMS service which you feel like. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for the introduction part. Also, one more thing which I want to tell you is do keep this documentation handy, because I'm following the new architecture, so I will be copying a lot of code from this turbo native modules, so it's better you keep this documentation handy as well. So yeah, let's see how to use this SMS Retreiver API. So let's get started. Let's first have a look at the output and then I will explain you the code later on. Okay guys, so here is the output. Now sorry, I have blurred the output. I will unblur it just in a moment. The reason I have blurred it because as soon as the app is loaded, with the help of the SMS Retreiver API, I am displaying a modal pop-up to the user to select phone number from this particular modal. Now this modal I have not designed, this is directly available, so we don't have to ask the user to type in his or her phone number. They can immediately pick their phone number from this modal pop-up, so it saves their time as well. Also, if you are like me using multiple SIM cards, so if it will display all the mobile numbers or the SIM cards or the phone numbers associated with your SIM cards in this modal pop-up. So I will quickly select one of my phone number. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as I selected my phone number, the phone number text input has been pre-filled. Now again I have hidden my phone number, that's why I'm using this password thing where the input is not visible to you guys, because I don't want to reveal my phone number to you guys. Okay, but just again, you don't have to do this, but hopefully you got the point. As soon as I picked phone number from this particular modal, it was pre-filled over here. Again, you don't need this modal pop-up. You can obviously ask the user to enter the phone number manually, so it's up to you how you want to present it. Now I have this get OTP button. As soon as I click it, it will call my nodejs backend, and my nodejs backend will call the Twilio API to send the user the SMS. So I'll just click on get OTP. So also it started the retriever, so it continuously listens for messages. So here you can see the OTP has been pre-filled from my SMS. So hopefully you got the point. Also I'll quickly open my console over here. So this is the success message which I got. Okay, now I will click on verify as well, and here you can see it was verified successfully as well. Again, just to show off, I will do it one more time. I'll click on okay, I'll just remove this original message which I had. I'll click on get OTP again. It has started listening for SMS. Here you can see it has automatically pre-filled, and this is my message. Again, I'll click on verify OTP, and if you pay attention to Metro Bundler, it was success. Now I want to have you guys now look at this SMS message. Again, I'm mirroring my device, that's why it is little bit slow. Don't worry, it will run fine on your real device. Again, you will have to test it on a real device. If you see the SMS properly, this is my OTP, the 075498. At the bottom you see this gibberish thing, so this is called as app hash. So this is what I was talking about. You will have to give your app hash to your backend server so that it will know what app it needs to look for. So this is the tricky part, but yeah, this app hash is only one time thing which I will explain it to you quickly, and then you will get a quick idea about that as well. So first let's start by looking at our backend, which is in nodejs, and then we will look at the front end code. Okay guys, so this is my backend. Now most of you might be already knowing nodejs, but if not, I will try to explain as much as I can. So firstly you will have to search for nodejs on Google and install it. Then what I have done is that I have created a folder called backend. Inside whatever, name it whatever you feel like, and inside that create this package.json file. So I have just created it, and here you can see I have added two scripts, start and dev. And once you want to start your nodejs server, you can just run npm run dev or npm run start, and it will look for this index.js file, and it will start executing your code. Inside dependencies I have added this .env. so here you can see I have created this .env file. It will contain all my Twilio API key, secret, verification, SID. I will tell you later on how to obtain all this from Twilio, but make sure you register on Twilio first. Then I have also installed Express. I have also installed Twilio as well. So yeah, with the help of Express you can create RESTful API endpoints, and with the help of Twilio it will help us to send or receive SMS messages. Okay, now first we'll have a look at this SMS verify.js. Now if you I have just copy pasted all this code from this particular URL, but I want to mention you few things, like I have made few changes because some of the code from this particular URL is deprecated. So if you want, you can go to this particular URL, you can just copy paste this file. So I have already done that, and I have made few changes because the code is little out of date. So firstly this SMS verify you have to do. Okay, then they have defined a method just to look up the phone number which we will be sending from client side. So this is just a helper method, but here you will have to add this .v2 as well, which is not present inside the GitHub repo which I have shown you. So make sure you add this. Then this particular request method gets called when we request for OTP. Okay, again it checks for that phone number and sends an OTP to our phone number. All right, and again make sure you add this .v2 over here as well. Then this is for verifying the message, OTP, sorry, I mean here you can see it is SMS message, but actually I'm sending the OTP only, but yeah, hopefully you got the point. And here again make sure you add this .v2 as well, and this will give us whether the OTP sent by the user was correct or not. There is one more function called reset. I'm not really using this, so if you want, ignore it for now. So this is the code. So I'll simply scroll through this. In case if you want to copy it, you guys can copy it. Next you will have to create this index.js file. So here you can see firstly we are loading this .env, then I have created this Twilio, I have imported Express as well, and I'm also importing SMS verify. This is boilerplate code which you have to write whenever you want to use Express. Okay, so just write it. Then we have to create our Twilio constructor. So firstly it takes an API key and API secret. So how to create API key and API secret? So for that you will have to go to this particular URL. You will see a button called create API key. Just click on it and give API key whatever name you feel like. The key type will be standard, and please note your Twilio API key will not be the friendly name API key which you have entered, but instead it will be the SID. I will show you one screenshot, just hold on a second. Also don't get confused with Twilio account SID and verification service SID. Those are two different things. So once you create API key, you will see something like this. So this SID which you see is your actual Twilio API key, and the secret which you see is your actual Twilio API secret. So you will have to copy these two things. Next, it also requires Twilio account SID, right? So for that you will have to go to this particular URL, and it will tell you where you can get it. Again, for Twilio account SID you will see something like this, and the thing which I have rubbed with a green marker is your Twilio account SID. Again you will have to copy that as well. Then here as you can see I have created one API endpoint which will help us to request OTP. It takes a phone number. From phone number I am also extracting country code. So here we are passing our Twilio client. Now keep this app hash. This is my app hash. Do not copy this app hash, it will not work for you. I will later on in the video I will show you how to create the app hash, but for now you can just keep it as empty. Next is verification service SID. For that you can go to this particular URL and it will tell you. So it will look something like this, and here you will see I had two verification service SID. I don't know why this was automatically created for me. If not, just click on this create new button as well, and you can pick any one of this service verification SID and paste it. Okay, and here we are passing our country code, and we just call the request method which we had defined it inside SMS verify.js, passing our phone number. And if you want, you can wait it. I'm not really waiting for it, and I'm just sending a success message back to the user. For /API/verify, we take the phone number as well as the message. So message is actually the OTP. We will only send the OTP from the front hand side. Then we again extract the country code from it, and here inside SMS verify we pass the Twilio client. Again, this is app hash, keep it empty for now. This is verification service SID, and this is our country code. And again we call the verify method which has been defined inside SMS verify.js. If it is successful, we send success true, otherwise we send this as false. I'm listening on port 3000. So yeah, once you start your server, your server will be hosted on localhost 3000. Again, I haven't deployed this server to any cloud providers as well. So while calling it from the front end side, you will have to use your own IP address. Again, I'll tell you about that later on. Also, one more thing, if you're new to nodejs, make sure you run npm install as well inside your terminal by going to your directory. So in my case it is backend, so cd to backend directory, and then just run npm install. It will create this node modules folder as well as this package-log.json file as well. So yeah, that's it on the backend side. Hopefully everything is clear. In case if you have any issues, do let me know in the comments as well. Now let's have a look at the front end side. So here is my React Native application. Like I told you, we will be making use of turbo modules, so you need to keep this documentation handy. So first what you will have to do is you have to create you will have to search for new arc enabled. Okay, and inside gradle.properties of your Android folder, you will have to make this as true. Then we will create a folder called rtnmysms. Follow the naming convention which I am using because we need to be consistent. Then create a package.json file. Again, I have copy pasted this from the documentation, turbo model documentation, and this name has been changed, this name has been changed, this name has been changed, and this name has been changed. Then I create a JS folder. Inside that I have created a TypeScript file. Again, I have copy pasted it from documentation, but I have added 3 methods. One is called get app hash, second is get phone number. Now this will actually display the pop-up model for which I have blurred the output, right? And second one is third one is start SMS retriever, which will start listening for messages as soon as we click on the get OTP button. And this name I have changed. Now one thing which I want to tell you is you should not ship this get app hash code in production. This get app hash should be run only once to get the app hash of your code. That's it. As soon as you get your app hash and you put it inside your backend, you can remove this code from the front end side. Your job is done. Do not ship this or do not dynamically calculate this app hash at runtime. You will face issues. There are multiple ways of getting app hash. I will show you one way, but I will show you the documentation where you can look for other ways as well. Okay, so remove this once you get the app hash. I have kept it because I want to show it to you guys. Okay, all right, then you will have to create an Android folder. Inside that, create build.gradle file. Again, I have copied it from docs. I have updated this version. Compile SDK, I'm using 34. I think 35 is also out. So if you have install the build tools for 35 from Android Studio, you can use 35 over here as well. This namespace I have changed. This I have copied it from docs. I have updated the version, and here you can see we are using this play services auth dependency and auth API phone dependency, which are from the SMS Retreiver API. So you can just copy paste it. This data store dependency I'm using because we will be creating one service class which will continuously look for SMS message. Now I need to send data from our service class to our main file, which I will show you shortly. Now there was no easy way. That's why I'm using this data store preference. So data store preference is basically used for storing key value data but once you store something, we can listen for that particular key, and once we know that something has been stored, we can send that value back to React Native side. Now I know that this might be sound confusing, but I will explain it to you more once I show you the code. Okay, then create src folder. Inside that, create main folder, create android manifest.xml. okay, so firstly we have to register our SMS broadcast receiver, which I have created over here. So okay, so that's why I'm referencing it over here. If you decide to change the name, you will have to change it over here. Rest everything will be same for everyone. Okay, one more thing which you have to do, you will have to go the android app src main android manifest.xml. make sure you have internet permission. Also you need to add this uses clear text traffic to true, because my nodejs server is running locally, it is not hosted on a cloud provider, so I'm using HTTP, I'm not using HTTPS for my backend. That's why we require this uses clear text traffic to true as well. Okay, then again coming back to our folder, inside src main, create all these folders, java, rtn, my sms. Firstly create this my sms package.kt. again I have copy pasted it from the documentation. Only this package name has been changed, this name has been changed, this and this name has been changed. Okay, now let's leave the documentation for a bit. Come to this file, app signature helper. Now this particular file will help us to get the app hash for our particular app. Now just write your own package name. Rest I have copied it from the documentation, so if you want you can go to this particular documentation URL. so it is inside the documentation itself, so I will quickly show you that as well. So if I scroll down here, you can see in the message, in the documentation also says that in the message your app hash should be present. That's why while showing you the demo I told you, right, there was some gibberish number inside my message. That was this number. Now here you can see for app hash you don't need to write this particular code, there are some commands as well, but the reason I was not running any command is I didn't understand from where do I get this .der file. Maybe it is from the Google Play console, but I haven't deployed it for my app to Google Play console. That's why I was little confused. But yeah, mostly you should follow this way. But again, if you scroll down here, you can see they also tell us you can get your app hash string with this app signature helper, and it will redirect you to this particular file. So just copy this file. Again, you have to change the package name how I have changed it. Rest everything I have just copy pasted it from the documentation. Now like I have told you again, once you get the app hash for your app, you can delete this file. You don't need to use this code. Don't ship this code to production. So again I'll just show you guys all this. So this again I have copy pasted it from the documentation. Next, coming back to my SMS broadcast receiver. So this will help us to look for SMS messages continuously. So yeah, you can just copy paste all this code. These are all the imports. So we are listening for SMS messages. So here is the status. If the status is successful, then we get the message, and here you can see I'm saving the message inside our preferences data store, which will help us to send the data back to our main my SMS module, which I will show you shortly. And here is a timeout. Now the timeout is for 5 minutes. So in case if your SMS is not delivered within 5 minutes, SMS Retreiver will stop looking for your message. And this is how I'm storing my message. So hopefully you got the point. I'll simply show you the code again in case if you have missed it. Okay, now the final file is my SMS module.kt file. So here is all the code. So firstly copy paste all these imports. Here you can see I'm creating that data store preferences. Okay, and again this has been copied from docs. Here I have added this activity event listener as well. This is our promise which will help us to send data back to React Native side. This is the phone hint request. Here you can see we are continuously observing our preferences data store. So once the SMS is stored in preferences data store from this file, it will call this particular thing, and here you can see I'm extracting the OTP from our message with the help of this method and sending it back to React Native side. Again this has been copied from docs. Here is our get app hash method. Again you should delete this method as soon as you get your app hash. So here you can see once I get the app hash, I'm just making use of this particular class, and I'm sending it whatever app hash value we have to React Native side. So yeah, then get the phone number. Okay, so this is how we get the phone number pop-up model dialog, which I have blurred the output for. Again, it's up to you. If you want the user to type the phone number out manually, you can do that as well. So again, I have just copy pasted this from the documentation. So here you can see we are starting this intent sender for result. So it basically it will go over here once the user picks a phone number, and from this I'm getting the phone number and I'm sending it back to React Native side. And okay, I think I have added 2 in it. We should not add 2 in it, we should have only 1 in it. So what I'll do, I'll just go at the top, and here make sure you add this as well. Okay, so this is fine. All right, so I've shown you this. So this is once I click on the verify OTP button, apart from calling our backend API, I also call this particular method. So this will start the this particular thing, broadcast receiver. So this particular code starts the SMS broadcast receiver. Okay, this has been copied from docs as well. This I have already told you to get the phone number. This we are overriding this method, and this is for observing the SMS message. So yeah, and this is for extracting the OTP from message. So yeah, that's it for the code. I'll simply scroll up and scroll down in case if you have missed any code. So simply scroll down. Okay, so hopefully you guys got the point. All right, next what you will have to do is you will have to open your terminal. You will have to cd to the root of your React Native project, and firstly you will have to run this particular command. Once you do that, you will have to do cd ... It will move you outside your React Native project, and then you will have to run this particular command. But here instead of rnapp, you will have to write your own project name. As you can see, my project name is rnapp. So that's why I have written it over here as well as over here. Make sure you write your own project name, and this is our folder name. Okay, once that is done, you will have to cd to the Android folder and then run this particular command. So this will do code generation for our folder. Now to use it, firstly you can import it something like this. Okay, then here you can see I have created 2 states, one for phone number and one for OTP. Then I am calling this use effect to get all the data. So inside get data, here you can see I'm getting the app hash first. As soon as you get the app hash, you should go to your backend. I am going to my backend, and here you will have to paste it over here as well as over here. Okay, and if you're already running your server, make sure you shut it down and run it again, because I am not using nodemon. Again, if you don't understand nodemon, that's fine. So once you get the app hash, you should delete the code. Again, I'm repeating it multiple times. You should not keep your app hash while deploying it to production. Only if you have changed the package name of your application, you should run this app hash again. Okay, and I think for deploying it to Google Play Console, the app hash might be different. I'm not really sure, but yeah, you can check it again using those commands which I have shown you, right? So here you can see these are all the commands which you might have to look into. Anyways, so here you can see this is how I get the phone number pop-up model, and once user selects it, I get it over here. And this is the text input. Like I told you, I have added this secure text entry because I didn't want to show you guys my phone number. And here is our touchable opacity, so for getting the OTP. Now this should be your own IP address. Don't copy my IP address, it won't work for you. This is our port where our nodejs server is running. This is our API endpoint, and here you can see I'm passing our phone number. And here you can see I'm also calling the start SMS retriever, which will help us look for messages. If you want, you can call it before, but I won't call it before because again it will keep waiting for this and this will never get called. That's why actually you should not, I mean the typical way should be this start SMS retriever should not return anything. You should just call it, then you should use some maybe some kind of an what do you call it, like a stream thing which will send this OTP back to you. but I don't know how to do that stream thing in the new architecture. That's why I have to use this particular approach. Hopefully you got the point what I'm trying to say. Again, if I receive the OTP, I'm just setting it over here, and this is our response. Okay, and this for second text input, which is the OTP text input. Okay, and on click of this is the verify text button. So again, this should be your own IP address. This is our port number. We are passing phone number as well as the OTP, and here I'm just printing it to the console. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I didn't forgot anything. Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.